Hello and welcome back to another episode of Law and Order. It's police procedural set in Waterdeep, starring some of your favorite Twitter shit posters. It's been a couple of months because it has been a couple of months. We've had sickness, we've had studies, we've had everything, but here we are. We're very happy to be back. So, firstly, a huge shout out, a huge thank you, and a farewell to our stream producer Mitch, who is on to bigger, better, and paid things. But also a huge shout out, a huge thank you, and a huge welcome to our new stream producer, Beef Taquitos, who we call Tack. Everybody, welcome, Tack.
Hello.
So, in true Law and Order fashion, I've just been signed out of the map feature because, of course, I have. But we're ready to get back into it. So, everyone, hello, welcome back. We are ready to go. So, my favorite words, when last we left. Our new City Watch Task Force of the Southern Ward of Waterdeep, the Wardens, are on a stakeout for an information broker by the name of Mr. William Laura. They have set themselves up in the homeless community of Sethma's Court. They have been granted a small tower of their own, one floor on which to make their home. The tower they discovered is home to a few secrets and some history of its own. They have ingratiated themselves into the homeless community, helping them with a number of issues, taking care of a rather twisted serial killer, staving off some extortion and some kidnapping, and most recently having discovered a group of Zanithar agents taking up shop. There was a brief encounter with them. Our Whispering Wind Gabriel may or may not have held one of these Zanithar over a well and somehow in the act befriended the guy. They've since made their ways, having negotiated the release of some hostages, and find themselves back at the base of the Warden's Tower within Sethma's Court. The Zanithar are a threat to the community, and they may pose a threat to the stakeout. What will the Wardens do? We'll find out as we begin this next session of Law and Order.
Bum bum.
So, not to be too forward, guys, but are we just gonna leave them there? Are they gonna be our friends now? I'm concerned. What did your well guy say?
We let him go. I let him go off easy because I didn't want to toss him down a well. But we probably have to get them out of there. We have a job to do or something, and if we don't do it, these people could be in a lot of danger. Not to mention, if they are Centaurans and they are, I know gangs, and they're not a good one.
Yeah, they're kind of infamous, actually, for some of their shenanigans.
Anyone who wants to can roll a history check on the Zanithar, aka the Black Network.
I got a high history.
It is so long.
I'll roll, but I don't.
That's a 21.
Ooh,
I got a
shit.
natural one.
I think I actually rolled this last time we played, if I'm not mistaken.
That's 50
Hey, we need another history check.
Felia, you've been out of the forest for a little while. The Zanithar are still one of those new and exciting things. Charise and Tenzo. Gabe, you know of the Zanithar. You know that they're a very large and powerful network. They started some shit in the city of Waterdeep maybe 6 years ago. They got into a bit of a street war with the Zanithar Thieves Guild. Charise and Tenzo, you're more familiar with the history of the Black Network. You know that they have actually started almost as a Bane cult they have they've made a name for themselves in a number of cities and kingdoms around Faerun and Toril in general. They've started as a mercantile. They've tried their hands at mercantile networking, working with mercenaries. At the moment, they're mostly selling themselves as mercenaries. Overall, they've remained fairly untrusted, and as a general rule, even if they're not engaged in directly illegal activities, any law enforcement officer worth their salt is keeping an eye on them.
I turn and I look at the rest of the wardens and I go, there's a good chance they can ruin the stakeout, and that's the reason why we're here. So I think the sooner we get rid of them, the better off the people of this court are, and the better off we are at finding our guy.
They're just holed up in there right now, right?
Yeah.
Do we have the hostages with us? Yeah.
The hostages were freed. They're under the impression that you believe they still have more hostages.
No,
But
I mean, like, other hostages with. Could we talk to them? Are they still?
they have been sort of freed into the wild, but you certainly can bring them back to you if you wish.
The wild. Go, my hostages, be free.
They're just
Is that
running
rescue
free,
release
running
program?
through the world.
Mhm.
For a while now, they can be released to nature. It's a beautiful thing.
It is a beautiful thing indeed.
I mean, we could talk to them and see if they could help us with anything.
Yeah, we should do that. I think I'm going to. Can I find out where any of those little rapscallions scampered off to?
Sure. Well, they won't have gotten too far. Just give me a straight investigation check.
All right, investigation. I'm not good at that, but I'll try. I'm probably gonna mess this up. Oh man, here we go. I got a nat fucking 1.
Yeah, let's go.
Jesus Christ, giving me a whopping 2. God darn it.
Yeah, look, I was just taking a breath and say, look, man, the DC's low. Like, this isn't a can you find them so much as a how long does it take you to find them. Unfortunately, asking some of the wrong questions, a little bit flustered, and, you just feel like talking to a brick wall sometimes.
This game's stupid.
After about 10 minutes of getting really flustered and frustrated, someone comes forward and is like, hey, so are you interested in finding the hostages? They're the ones you want to talk to?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, he recognizes your Baldurian accent. He's sounds like he's from there as well. So he's like, all right, I'll go get a hostage or two. So yeah, we'll sort that out. A few minutes later, comes back with this older looking guy, probably late 60s, Luskin looking bloke, like blonde hair, blue eyes. And says, you are one of the wardens who got us out of there, yes?
Yeah, I am. My name is Adrius. Nice to meet you. And I'm gonna put my hand out and reach for a handshake.
What did you say your name was?
Gabriel.
Gabriel. I wasn't sure if you were giving him an alias or something. Gabriel, good. It's very good to meet you.
Sorry.
Gabriel, yes, you
Stuff on my mind.
You have all been very good for this community. We are glad you have come.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I have some questions, though, unfortunately. Sorry to bring this up so abruptly, but about how many people did you guys see inside of that building?
There would have been. There was. You see, he starts counting. 6. I believe there was 6.
6. Okay.
Yes, there was. There was the short one. Blood everywhere, waving. She had the scary-looking half-elf woman next to her, and 4 other, I don't know, goons.
All right. Did you hear anything important coming off of them? Like any words, anything that was like going on?
They They're going to set up. They do not like that you are here. I think they be putting watch on each night. They said they're going to keep sentries just in case, but they want to set up base here. I'd be worried that they be coming after you sometime, maybe.
You guys hear that?
Yeah. I mean, what if they just want to have like a party? What if they don't actually mean anything? What if I just don't want to get shot by an arrow? It looked like it hurt when it hit you, Gabe.
Didn't hurt at all. I'm fine. As I slightly like grab where the wound is. I'm all right. I'm cool.
Blood.
I frighteningly grab the gaping wound on my shoulder. I'm okay.
What are they? Did we have any idea as to what they were doing here? Like, this is where they were going to set up shop, isn't it?
The hostage gave you the idea that they were looking to set up shop here, open up a new sort of head office recruitment operation sort of place. Is the vibe you got from last time. You may not remember this, but Charise probably remembers this because it was approximately 2 hours ago and not 2 months ago.
Nice. All right.
Yeah. And basically, we have no reason to think that they're working with the guy that we're here to find, right? Like these are two separate problems, right? Not one problem.
You know what? You could roll me an insight check if you wish. Or a straight up history check. $24. Look, the vibe you got from the way Capian was talking about William Laura is that the Zentarum are precisely the Zentarum, the Red Wizards of Thay, the Zanithar, any sort of criminal organization are the kinds of people that William Laura seems to be working against.
Okay.
Probably, you can give me a history check if you want to get more detail than that, but I don't combine that with your insight. But yeah, you get an idea. It seems like they're roughly they are two separate issues.
Okay, so they're at opposed goals at least.
I think if
So-
we get rid of them, he might be likely to talk to us.
Entirely possible. I think it's also very possible that if we're looking out for the people down here, we're also likely to get him on our good side as well.
Sure.
But I mean, beyond that, I mean, if we were to leave them, like if we left here right now and let these guys set up, they're just going to exploit the people here the same way that, you know, the meat man was, you know. It's just going to be more of the same, you know. So we can't really
see the meat man. A tear flows down Gabe's eye ever so silently, in remembrance of a friend he could have had, but things went so awry.
The 1,000-yard stare.
the meat man.
I just don't see us getting out of this situation without having to get our hands a little dirty.
But I don't like the idea of having to go in because they're going to see us well before we see them.
Well, Dirty's my middle name, you know, so.
Do you think they'd be down
Literally.
for a rumble?
Down for what?
A rumble.
Yeah, I think they will. But they don't even necessarily have to rumble because they're at ranged. They'll see us before we see them. They can just pepper us as we walk up to the front door, back door, whatever. So
I turned to Gabe and I said, the good news is we have someone who has a friend over there.
I do know somebody over there. And I am a pretty stealthy guy. Just saying.
Well,
One
I think
thing I want to look into is what was that building before? It was like a warehouse or something? What was it?
It was an abandoned mansion.
An abandoned mansion.
Yeah,
That should have a basement with sewer access the same way Meat Man's building did.
That is very true.
We can, so if we can just bring up that abandoned mansion map. I will have to stream that to these guys on Discord. So apologies to the chat, just to break character for a moment. We're still working out exactly how to use this new setup as best as possible. I am just going to stream this particular window. Okay. So you predominantly, Kenzo and Gabe, got a look at this ground floor. But you did see, so you will have noticed an alleyway, a couple of very tight alleyways around the northwest side. And you also would have noticed a balcony on the second floor. Well, the first floor.
Okay.
So we could like get into a balcony.
Yeah.
If
All
only
we
we
need
had
is a little bit of stealth.
Who could really scarily climb on a wall like something out of a spooky story.
Yeah, I could get in there, but I could get in there, but I wouldn't necessarily be very stealthy walking around in there. But I could just carry a rope with me so that someone who's stealthy could just shimmy on up.
All right. I'm pretty good at hiding, so I can definitely get up there and give you some much needed support.
Now that balcony, do they have line of sight on us approaching that balcony, or? Because I don't want to get peppered with arrows walking up to this thing.
From a map maker's perspective, can we switch to Sethma's Court Day, please? And I'll switch it for our characters.
What I'm guessing we could do is we wait till the fall of night. We use night guys have some advantage in going. We can probably grab some cloaks. Me and Nixie are pretty good at hiding, and we're good at moving. So we can do that and push our way forward into the place.
Yeah, so your tower...
People.
We could go around, actually, because these buildings are so close together. We could go up onto another rooftop and cross over to that rooftop from another building.
It also works.
That way we're completely out of sight. They're not going to see us. The only factor is you guys being quiet, and that's it. And then I can just hang out kind of like up top somewhere, so that if you guys, if all hell breaks out, I can drop down and hit you guys with any healing that might be needed.
Are there any buildings near this or behind this building that are taller with like windows?
There'll be a window on the small tower with the hay thatch roof. Yeah, I am going to cancel the stream if you guys want to watch it on the Twitch stream.
Okay.
Just to save my poor old laptop. And you will be able to go straight from the roof to the north, straight across to the roof of the building, and from the roof of the building to the west on the left, straight across to the balcony there.
Yeah, that works.
Okay.
Are you guys feeling that idea, or no? We want to try something else.
I'll try anything. I just have pretty clip-cloppy feet, so you know.
I could make a distraction.
Same. I could definitely, because if I get up there, I'm fine. I can take care of anyone, for the most part, any one person there. But I have to get up there first. So,
yeah, I think so long as we lead with the stealthy people, so long as we get them up there, I think we should be okay. And if we have the non-stealthy people down on the ground level, that way if something happens, we're basically hitting them in sort of a flank when something goes down. you know,
Split
kind of
the
a
party.
well, only to meet in the middle where the bad guys are.
It's gonna be fine. We can do it.
I'm down. Come on, let's get this done, man. I'm started talking. I'm trying to get antsy, and I gotta get up and I do like a little like a little jitter.
I think while the stealthy people are doing their thing, I can call upon an old friend to cause a bit of a distraction for us.
An old friend.
We have.
And I take off my cloak and I toss it onto a table, and then I walk over to a wall and I take out a piece of chalk and I start writing on the wall, and I do an outline of a person, and then I take out my wizard book and I read some stuff out of it, and then I slap my paintbrush on the wall and then throw a cloak onto Cloaky the Unseen Servant.
Oh,
God.
The return of
Fucking
Cloaky.
way.
You all thought he was dead?
Cloaky lives.
The comeback kid, Cloaky.
Cloaky
Cloaky.
lives.
Cloaky, the everlasting, the enduring.
You just made your own ghost. That's so cool. That's good distraction.
And I lean over and I said, they don't like it when you call them the G word.
We're ghosts.
No, stop. He doesn't like that.
It's okay. I'll use another word. I can't believe you made your own
Spirit.
imp. It's amazing.
I don't.
Okay.
I'm gonna walk over because I can't see. Is it just a cloak levitating at this moment?
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
I'm gonna walk over to it and be like, "This is impressive. I've
Thanks,
never
man.
seen like, this is just nuts. Magic
Well,
is cool. I should probably learn some.
Maybe. It's not for everybody. You could be like Charise over there and have to ask for it. But
Ooh. You have
I
to
don't
ask
ask.
for your magic?
I pay.
yeah, well, yeah, I guess I pay for some of it too. But I mean,
Mine's
I
a
didn't
live
pay for
service.
anything.
yeah, his is subscription based. All I have to do is just buy the pages. But are you guys ready to kill some folks?
Yeah.
I am so ready.
Give me
As I
that
know,
rope and I'll
just
get you up to
like-
some rooftops.
As I
Close
walk to
it.
the door, I turn around and I go, "Don't worry, this isn't gonna go on my report." I step
So-
outside.
At this point, it's roughly about high sun. That is Realms talk for midday. As you remember, this encounter with the Zents in the first place would have happened at about 10 to 11. So you guys would have time to get in a long rest if you wanted to before going in. Before it gets dark, I should say. So you can go in during the daytime if you want. If you wanted to wait till it gets dark, you've probably got at least a good 6 or 7 hours.
All right, those are the guys of the night.
I start flipping through my spell book and I'm like, we could stand to wait. I have no spells. Okay, I changed my. I have one spell and some cantrips, but other than that,
We could wait until nighttime. The daylight
gonna,
might
like-
put Charise off her spider senses or something.
I'm gonna take out my sword and like play around and flare with it and try to get myself like loose and limber.
Okay.
You know, try some acrobatic maneuvers. You know, some real cool like spinning slices and stuff, just to get myself, you know, pumped.
Cloaky dies in an hour. Can I just say that I brought him to life right before we leave, like under cover of darkness? Can we just say that for?
I mean,
He dies in an
you
hour.
can. At this point, Cloaky's already been the subject of much conversation, and you just see this apparently empty-looking cloak just watching you discuss him. So how long are you thinking you're going to rest up and wait? Is this going to be a long rest?
I'm down for the whole thing, the whole darn thing.
I'm good with
Yeah.
whatever. I didn't use much.
I would say so. Yeah.
Yeah, my mage armor fizzles, but I can always recast it and then use my sorcery points to get the first level slot back. So good, whatever.
Okay.
Definitely spinning my sword and stuff.
Actually,
good.
that's what I'll do. I will long rest and then cast and regain the sorcery points just for the round.
Okay.
I'm long resting as well, and just right off the bat, I'm going to give Charise, Gabe, and Felia Bardic Inspiration.
Ooh.
So I pull
Okay.
I pull everyone into a huddle.
I think that only lasts for. This is after the rest. It only lasts for like.
Yeah, it'll be after the rest.
Ah, okay. I
Been a while, folks.
I say, hey guys, we're gonna do a team huddle in a little bit when it's most applicable.
There's a huddle in your future, guys.
Okay.
Just get
so you
ready,
guys
get
are just
excited.
up and doing the
I
long
sense
rest
huddles
like
in the
that?
future. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I sense much huddling in the future.
Okay. So, all right then. Well then, you all take your long rest, waking up to meet in the in this makeshift meeting area of your tower, and the sun has set as you wake up to the lengthening shadows. Finding your way downstairs. What order is everybody leaving the tower?
I think I'm going to go first. You know, I am the wind.
Okay. Can I get you to... actually, I'm going to go ahead and check. What's your passive perception, Gabe?
My passive perception's a whopping 16.
16? Okay. That's a natural 1. As you get to the front door, you guys see Gabe very casually strolling down. It's your own home base, and then suddenly, right as he's about to put his foot out the door, fist comes up. Everyone stops. Gabe, you in the moonlight can see the glint of razor wire crisscrossing the door to the tower.
Razor wire?
Guys didn't leave a watch, man. And someone rolled a nat 20 on their stealth.
I said, what's the holdup?
Tenzo, why would you do this? It's not a funny prank. He could have gotten hurt.
No,
Hold
this
on,
wasn't
I didn't-
Tenzo. This
wasn't
They-
Lenore either.
They moved against us before we moved against them.
I can hear Nixie.
They went-
I'm sure that was Lenore.
Nah, this is someone else. All right, guys.
Okay. Is the wire on the inside of the door?
It is on the outside of the door.
Can I check and see if it's like if I cut it, will any sort of trapping happen? Like
Okay.
any sort of mechanism go off?
Give me an investigation check.
Investigating, I'm so good at it. Oh.
That's a dirty 20.
Oh.
Hell yeah.
Unnatural 20.
Okay, not that you can see. It looks, and you're reasonably confident that this is just very well strung up razor wire that's designed to just, you walk into it and your face looks like a salsa.
I'm gonna start slashing away at the wire.
Okay, I won't even bother with an attack roll for that. You guys, Gabe just whips a saber out and straight down the middle. And those of you up the back, you can actually now see the moonlight glinting off the moving wire as it just falls slowly down. Almost like gossamer threads, but a lot more deadly.
I turn around and I put my hand where Cloaky's shoulder would be. I go, all right, buddy, this is what we did last time. And I just push him out the door. And I command him just to walk straight.
Okay. Cloaky walks straight out. What is Cloaky's armor class?
Oh no.
Oh,
Oh
Doing
no.
his job.
his armor class.
10. He has a 10.
10. Okay.
Oh, don't kill him again. He just came back.
You're all sort of standing in the shadows of the door now, slightly spooked at this obvious attempt on your lives. You see the cloak slightly in the breeze as Clokey takes his footsteps out. 1, 2. He takes his third step. And then you see the hood slowly turn over the shoulder, looking back towards you, Tenzo.
Go. Keep going. Keep going.
Okay.
You're doing amazing, sweetie.
Clokey just continues a slow walk out across Sethma's court, generally speaking, in the direction of the well.
And I turn. I go. I don't know. I think we're okay.
Can you tell him to go inside while we're going in?
I'm gonna get low and I'm like, all right, guys. I'm gonna point at Nixie, and who else is stealthy here? Is it just me, Nixie?
That would be you, dude. Yeah.
All right. I'm like, all right. We're gonna start moving. All right.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and put your tokens on the board.
Ooh, tokens.
We're still, at the moment, just waiting on some Hero Forge collaboration between Hero Forge and Harpy, so we'll be using your flat circular tokens for the time being. 1
I
and
guess
2,
I'm okay with that.
and 4 and 5 and 6. Okay, so Nixie and Gabe going first.
I'm supposed to get you guys up to the rooftops, though, aren't I?
Yes. So if we're on we're actually going to switch to Sethma's Court Night, if we can get that up. Taquitos, the snow is falling. You can hear slight crunching sounds, but otherwise, noise seems to be muffled by the overall snowfall. Everything sounds extra still and quiet. There's some smoldering coals from a fire 2 nights before, that big that it's just slowly burning itself down over the next couple of days. Reese, Gabe, Felia, Ornifus, Tenzo, and Nixie. So, Nixie's and Gabe are going first. We'll put Tenzo and Charise, and then Felia and Ornipus. Now let's zoom in, and how are we going to go about doing this?
I assume we use the guise of the night to move as fast as we possibly can.
Stealthily,
Big
quietly
brain move.
Let's get some stealth rolls from everybody, please.
Okay, here we go. No. Oh, I thought I got a natural 1. I was so upset. Decent.
Oh, nice.
All right, big money.
Uh-oh.
It's literally teetering on the edge of a
No.
Makes you feel any better? I rolled for Nixie, and
Oh,
She got an
excellent.
Wow. If only I can ride her back like a stallion.
that's okay. A nat 20 counts as 2 passes.
Let's
Okay.
go.
I'll take it.
I'm
Okay.
safe because my friends did good. Let's go.
Okay, so how are you all looking to approach the building? Let's get some people placements.
All right, so for me, I'm actually kind of going around to one of the other buildings and shimmying up, and then I'm going to go over to the rooftop, drop a rope for these guys. That's like my entire role.
Okay, so you're going to be coming in around the back of the red building.
Yeah.
Okay. Nix, I'm going to say Nixie's probably, actually, Tenzo, where would you like Nixie to be?
I'd say close to Charise for now. Maybe go
Okay.
to the corner of that red tiled roof.
Are
So-
we still going half on foot, half on roof? Half on foot, half on ground, half on roof? Is that
I think that's the
Like-
move.
so? Do we
Yeah.
need to split stealthy people to both teams?
No, because the ground team is like part of their role is actually being more obvious.
Oh, I'm going ground.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're on ground team, kid.
Okay, so Ornipus will probably be on the ground team with you guys.
Yep.
We'll split the absent PCs between the groups, which I'm guessing that means Gabe will be up here with Team Stealthy climbing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, for now, let's get everyone to roll for initiative.
Okay.
Yeah, what is up with me today? Jesus Christ. One of those days, man.
Are you?
Your dice are cold, brother. You just need a little bit of time, you know?
No, it's just me.
Gotta
It's
get
my
warmed
life.
up. Gotta get warmed up.
Robbed of another nat 20.
Someday.
The
Someday.
12 for Ornipus, and Nixie gets a 22.
I
Right?
want to get.
Okay. Initiative will most likely kick in if and when things turn to shit. For now, we're going to continue with. So we'll have Tenzo leading the ground team. Charise, you're the team 2 IC, so you'll be leading the rooftop team. Over to you guys.
Okay. Cloaky is still with us, so
Mm-hmm.
I think for just cover purposes, I'm gonna run up to the well and have Cloaky get down in a crouch position with me.
Okay.
Yeah,
Let me.
One of us will forever shadow you, so I'll trail after the giant man. using his
And
cover.
can Lenore give me a help action?
That depends. How is Lenore going to be helping you?
Perception.
Okay, sure. Have Lenore make a perception check.
Um,
So that'll be a flat d20 and add Lenore's bonus.
that's a +1.
Damn.
That's
she
a
has
dirty 20.
advantage. She has advantage on perception checks, but I don't think it matters.
No, that's okay. Look, you may get a nat 20. You're welcome to give it another roll just in case.
Nope, we'll go with that first roll.
Okay, so on a dirty 20, you can see movement from two locations.
Okay.
One is at the ground floor, near the door, right near a cracked window. It's not a lot of movement, and looking through Lenore's eyes, you can see someone who's sitting up against, like at a windowsill, and looking half asleep and just sort of stirring slightly. The second movement comes from near the upstairs balcony. If you weren't on this side of the on the west side of the well, you might not have seen it, but you can just see into the balcony, and it was just the faintest flicker of movement. And again, really concentrating, you guys see Tenzo's eyes kind of flip up to a pure white, like he's gone blind, as Lenore with the little pudgy arms is like up on her tippy toes staring. And you can see somebody looks to be a woman holding a crossbow, and she's standing right up against the wall on the other side of the balcony, and she's not moving. You caught just the briefest flicker of movement as she pressed herself close to the window, and she's staring out, scanning for movement.
Okay, do I have time to send a message?
We will see what Charise and Gabe are doing in this moment.
Okay, I'll be right back, too. So.
Okay. So, Charise.
Yeah.
You now move to the rooftop team.
Yep.
You've got Gabe as your stealthy eyes. Nixie is on autopilot, but also your stealth in your eyes. What are we doing?
So I'm going to be taking the rope and going up to the rooftop, securing it to something so that they can shimmy up right after me, and then we can jump to the other rooftop where they're at. You see what I'm saying?
Yes. Okay. So you're headed up to the red corner roof.
Yeah, because the one we're trying to get into, right, is that L-shaped one.
The black L-shaped one on the corner, right. Yes.
Yeah, we're doing the red roof. We're going to come up on that side, so we're on the blind side. I'll secure the rope to something when I get up there, and then they can just climb right up because it's easier DC with the rope.
Yep. Okay, so give me an acrobatics or an athletics check, please, Gabe.
I'm going to go acrobatics. Hopefully I pass. Please.
Fuck it up.
14?
14 is an easy pass. So it's not quite hand over hand. Hand over hand is more of a athletics thing, but with your climbing and agility, you grab the rope and you're like got your feet jumping between. It's a strange combination of parkour and rope climbing, but within 5 or 6 seconds, very silently, you're up on the roof, crouched next to Charise. Nixie takes a couple of seconds longer than you did, but after about 10, 12 seconds, she's up there. Next to you guys. Can I get a round of perception checks from the upstairs team, please?
Okay. Nice.
Oh. Okay.
On a 22.
Ooh.
One over this way.
Yeah.
Nice.
So Nixie seems to be kind of shivering a little bit, finding it hard to focus. Gabe and Charise, you can see on the far side of the wall, to the left of the balcony, there's a large black shape that you can just make out through the cracks of the wall. About human-sized. At this stage, you would be getting a message from Tenzo pretty much advising you that there is someone there and does seem to be quite aware and scanning.
Would I be able to... How far are they from me?
Let's see. We go... Oh, you know what? There's something for that. You'd be looking at about 25 feet.
25 feet. Would I have a line of sight enough to be able to use my hunter's mark on him?
Or
do I not see enough of his body?
I would say this person has somewhere between... I would say they have full cover. If it wasn't for those cracks in the wall, being a very dilapidated building, you would not know they were there at all.
All right, so full cover. All right.
Yeah, this was like a DC 20 to be able to see, so you and Charise just managed it.
All right. Can I potentially get over to above them over the roof where they're at? Like get to that? Because is there a window by where they're like looking out of?
Okay, give me a perception check.
Okay. Ooh, another 21.
21. At a 21, you would likely be able to make your way north along this red building. With a reasonable jump, you could make it up to the roof, the thatch roof. And then from there, you might be able to leap across to the roof of the north of the mansion. And that would put you directly on roughly on top.
All right.
Your main fear here would be making that last jump. If you don't land just right, you're likely to make a lot of noise landing on the roof.
All right. I'm gonna be like, all right, guys, ready to go for this? As I start getting really pumped and amped. I'm like, all right. Here we go. I'm the wind. No one can stop me. I'm the wind. I'm just gonna start running. I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna go for the jumps.
Okay. Give me. Are you just going straight for the run?
Yep.
Okay. Give me a straight athletics check.
Athletics? Would it be acrobatics?
For a run and a leap. For a run and a leap, I will say that's athletics. If you're sort of close to the DC but not quite, we'll roll an acrobatics to see if you can then save it.
Okay.
You can do it.
I got it. Okay, 21.
21? Nope. That's just straight up and over. You've got this. So you very cleanly make this first jump. There's actually a little bit of a curved window that you're standing on here. So you make a nice clean jump, landing right on the edge on all fours. As you stand up, scurry over, and make your way to the other side.
Right.
Now that you're here, it's a slightly longer jump. You might be able to make it directly onto the rooftop from there. Otherwise, you can continue with the plan.
Does Nixie have athletics?
Let's have a quick look. Nixie does not have athletics. She does have acrobatics.
Okay, so here's what I want to do, because we gotta follow after him, right?
Yeah, it's completely up to you how you want to do this, but sure, you can follow after him.
So I need her to follow after him mostly. Like, I'm coming in last as a medic, but I need her in there with him. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to channel divinity for, I think, does it work for both her and me? Or is it just me?
What channel divinity are you using?
Knowledge of the Ages, where I can make us proficient in a skill for 10 minutes.
Well, that sounds like you said us, so it sounds like her and you both.
I'm gonna double check because I know channels are like normally multi, but knowledge of the Ages 5e. Okay,
it says as an action, you can use channel divinity to gain proficiency with any skill or tool for 10 minutes. So that's you only.
Just me. All right. Well, I definitely do need it, so I'm still gonna do that because athletics is not one of my things.
Have you got like a guidance cantrip or something that could help her?
Bless might do the job. Actually, I might do that instead.
I'm gonna issue you to hold off on any casting, and I'm gonna run and put my hand out, so when she runs, I can grab her, hopefully giving her some sort of advantage in doing this.
Okay.
Okay, sure.
Attempt to help.
So Nixie sees you crouch down at the edge of the rooftop, sees you go, and then put your hand out. So Charise, you watch as Nixie just silently drops down off this onto the lower part of the roof. She will go ahead and roll an athletics check.
Okay, please.
That's going to be a 6. Gabe, I need a reflex. I need a dexterity save from you. And Nix is also going to roll a dexterity. She's going to roll an acrobatics. That's a nat 20.
And I got a 21 again.
Okay. So you can see Nixie she just slips ever so slightly as she goes to launch herself off the roof. She turns that into a drop, into a roll. As she comes up out of the roll, she launches herself up off the edge. You manage to you just punch one hand straight down through the thatch of the roof grab hold of a beam, other hand straight off the edge as Nixie is launching herself across the gap, wrist to wrist, catch, pull her up. She's just she can't even say thank you. She's just breathing and looking at you with this look of thanks. Like the fact that she had to touch another human being hasn't even registered. That was such a neat save between the pair of you.
I got you, bud. Don't worry. I'm gonna say it in Elvish. A nice little elf moment.
That's
I got you, Sister Elf.
Okay. Charise, you watch as things turn pear-shaped for about half a second before Nixie uses some rather improbable, mathematically improbable, but still possible acrobatics, and Gabe pulls out a clutch saving move.
I'm gonna be like Nixie, and we're both gonna put our hands out for you now. Like, head over.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and use my knowledge of the ages to get the athletics that I need.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to go for the running jump. Now, when I become proficient at something, how much does it add?
Your proficiency bonus is 2, so you would make an athletics check, and then we would just manually add a +2 to that.
Okay, all right.
That power is going to get so OP as you level.
8.
Yeah.
So that's a 10. Now, with a 10, you make the gap. What you don't make is the height. So, Gabe, you're sitting there with Nixie as you watch Charise make the leap and disappear underneath the edge of the thatch roof.
That's okay.
However,
slap against the
approximately
wall.
2 seconds later, you just see this hand come up and over as Charise, you've seen climb straight up walls, straight down walls. Just spider climbs straight up over the edge of the roof.
Spider-Man!
And she drops my faces.
Can we see this from the ground? Charise like face plant into a wall and then just start climbing? Amazing.
Like quick.
Okay, so we're going to leave that there for the moment. We're going to check in with the ground team. Now, unfortunately, our fearless bard leader has been called away, real life calls. He may rejoin, he may not.
Look, that's totally okay. Felia's in charge. Nothing's going to go wrong.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
yeah. So Tenzo sends, at this point, you see you hear a message, you hear Tenzo's voice floating towards you on a paper plane. A ghostly paper plane, Charise, going, there's someone at the balcony wall there on the north side. Just be careful they don't see you. In a voice that sounds 100% pitch perfect like Tenzo's.
Believe it. You really sold me on it. All right.
Yeah,
I'll share that with these guys, though. Gabe and I did see that person earlier, so...
Mm-hmm. Well, you can respond with that, so you just let Tenzo know that you've got eyes on and you're approaching appropriately.
Yeah, we're coming in from the top.
There's an entrance on ground level, obviously.
Yes.
Is it a closed door? Is it an open door? Are there windows? What can we see?
It is a closed door at the moment. There is a window to the left and to the right. Through a crack in the window, because the window is largely dirty. From just decades of neglect, but you can see a shape in the window now, just make out a shape through the snow and the nighttime, but it doesn't seem to be moving much. Tenzo, with Lenore's rather creepy level of eyesight, just whispers down to you that he's relatively certain whoever's there has fallen asleep.
Okay, so I have a question. Can the unseen servant interact with objects, considering it's currently holding a cloak on top of it?
Up to 5 pounds, I believe. I'm about to check that on Tenzo's
I'm thinking,
page.
obviously the best thing is to split whoever's inside. So if we have communication to some degree, when you guys are ready to go in, the servant could go up and either knock on the door, open the door, and the Intenso could still be out of melee range, but able to take out whoever ends up at that door while you're entering the top and everyone's distracted.
Okay. With a strength of 2, this unseen servant can carry up to 30 pounds.
He's yoked. He's fine.
28 pounds, 29 pounds, given the cloak.
All right, that seems to be efficient somewhat. All right, that'll work. Right,
Let's just say
right,
there's nobody
Felia,
in the house.
you got this.
Are you guys ready to get in?
I am ready to go.
Okay. So let's say that Clokey goes up to the door and knocks
Okay.
with his little cloaky hand, and Felia is gonna ready a ice knife.
Ooh, scandalous.
Okay, so,
Gonna
you
send
guys
Clokey.
just can just at this distance, the roof team can see a cloak walking up. You're like, I don't think there's someone in that cloak. Must be Clokey. As Clokey wanders up. We're going to go ahead and switch maps now to the abandoned mansion.
Nap time. I'm assuming that Tenzo's using his message cantrip to keep everyone in the loop.
Yeah.
By the way.
We'll just need a moment for that map to finish loading. Okay, so our roof team is currently sitting up here on this ceiling. And this team, ground team, is currently still down here by the well. I'm going to bring in a Clokey. Where did Clokey get to? Okay, so you watch as Clokey wanders up here. So, you can see the roof team. If we can just make sure we're zoomed out far enough to see the ground floor and a little bit of the first floor. The roof team, you can see a shadow moving on the other side of that wall. And the ground team, you can see someone almost dozing on the other side. What's the range on Ice Knife, Felia?
It is 60 feet.
60 feet. So you should be within range for Ice Knife. Clokey gives a knock.
I'm nervous. I am very nervous.
Okay. And it takes 3 or 4 seconds, but eventually you see this shape in the window sit up, shake itself off, move to the door. The door opens just a little bit. Maybe just about 3/4 of a foot.
How much cover does that give?
I would say about 3/4.
How would you... Does that mean that I'll have disadvantage if I go?
It means that his armor class increases by 5 points.
I mean, fuck it. Cast an ice knife at him.
No balls, no blue chips.
Yeah. Okay. So,
Okay,
To
go
hit.
ahead and roll your attack.
not bad. 19 to hit.
19 to hit. Okay. Where did I put him?
His AC
19 hits.
Totally fine.
Go ahead and roll your damage.
Okay. So with ice knife, he takes immediately 10 damage. So I rolled a 10. But then he has to make a dex saving throw, or any creature within 5 feet of him has to make a dex saving throw. DC 14.
Okay, DC 14.
If the roof team can see the door, they just see Clokey enter the door, and then a shard of ice go in, and then an explosion of ice at the front.
Okay, that's a fail. So does the same guy take the additional damage, or is it just anyone near him takes that damage?
It's anyone within 5 feet, so I did just sacrifice Cloaky.
You just murdered our friend.
It's 2d.
Yeah. Let's quickly see how many hit points Cloaky has. 1 hit point. Yep.
I rolled 11 for my cold damage.
Okay, so you guys watch the ground team. Felia stands up. Tenzo's just got his hand vaguely out, telling Cloaky what to do telepathically. The door opens no more than 9 or 10 inches. Felia, you just watch as the snow coalesces circular until it forms into a spinning knife, straight past Cloaky, straight through this gap in the door, hits the guy in the shoulder, explodes. A bunch of icy shards come flying out. You can see Cloaky's whoosh, as the cloak just falls to the ground.
I think that's our cue, right?
Yeah.
Tenzo would probably... Would he also have had...
Yes,
ready?
so
Depends if
Tenzo
you
for his part is going to cast Magic Missile at first level. And so he's going to hit for 3d4 plus 1 damage.
Did that guy
He just took 20.
die though? It's like a pretty heaving amount.
So did the same guy take both dice, or is the first dice is for him and the second damage dice is for everyone around him?
It's
him
if I'm not
and
mistaken.
anyone, I believe. Let me have a look.
Let's double check that, because
Target takes 1d10 piercing. Hit or miss, the shard then explodes. The target and each creature within 5 feet must succeed on a dex save or take 2d6 cold.
okay, and that second damage roll was...
It was 21 total.
He
11.
took 21 points of damage total. Okay, you see the ice knife go in, and as the explosion, the cloak just blown off him with shards of ice through it. It just settles back down. Silence. Absolute silence.
Is he
It'll be a bunch of red mist in there. All right. At that moment, I'm like, all right, we gotta go. And I'm gonna run and I guess take the next jump and try to somehow serpentine my way in through a window. Get some shit
Okay.
cracking.
You can drop down onto that balcony, probably, right?
Balconies are too simple. I want to jump.
Okay, give me another athletics check. Unfortunately, every time I reload this map, these placeable walls get moved slightly. So we that's just a nice smooth stone semicircle wall.
What if I do this? What if I try to jump, but I use sort of I like arms out and then try to like cannonball front flip and make the jump, like jettisoning myself like forward, sort of like
That's going to be an athletics check. That's going to be at least a DC 15.
Okay, I'm just gonna do a regular jump then.
Charise, what bullshit have you gotten yourself into with this team?
Well, goddamn, I would have made that jump.
A dirty 20. Dirty 20. So
I want to do that cool jump.
Flips.
you guys, so the roof team,
Unnatural 20.
the roof team watches as what they are fairly certain to be Cloaky appears walking through the square, just in this gap, in this little alleyway. They hear the door creak open slightly. They hear a flash of blue arcane again through the alleyway. They hear and silence. Gabe is like, it's my time. The whispering wind takes a leap straight off this roof, lands down onto this, right on the very edge of this rooftop, and then without just keeping the momentum, rolls slightly off it, leaps again onto the balcony, straight through the door, looking face to face with a bandit. Straight down at you, not believing what she's seeing. Now we're in initiative.
All right. This get cool.
Is Gabriel getting a surprise round on that bandit?
Gabe does get a surprise round on that bandit.
All right.
So, Gabe, we're going to start with you.
All right. I'm going to quickly Hunter's Mark him.
Okay, that's your bonus action.
Yeah, my bonus action, and I'm gonna take I'm gonna quickly take my sword off my back and then do like a spinning upward strike right up his stomach. Hopefully,
Go ahead, roll your attack.
All right. I'm nervous, but
If we can zoom in on Gabe and his quarry.
Another dirty 20. I was complaining earlier, and I'm just getting all these fucking great rolls.
Yep, you were just saving the
natural 20.
Gabe was just saving all his big rolls, big money for the critical clutch moments. Go ahead, roll your damage.
Okay. Plus 1d4. So I got 14 plus 1d4. Oh, 17 damage.
17 damage. 17 damage. That's bandit. See? Straight up clean, starting just above the hip bone, straight across the stomach, flick up, slight C shape. Just ropey, slimy innards just slither out as you go straight up, and you crack two of the ribs on the way out. As the weapons just clatter to the floor as you reach forward and grab the crossbow before it hits the ground. He falls dead at your feet.
When I put my fingers on, be like, tell everybody to head over.
Okay. We take this bandit here. We take this bandit agent off the map. Charise and Nixie are now free to follow. We'll say that Nixie makes an athletics roll. Not great, but enough to get over to this roof. Whereupon, with her proficiency in acrobatics and a great roll, drops straight down and makes it in through. Charise, you don't even need to roll at this point. With your spider climb, you just hop straight over, down, cross the wall, straight in and around. You find yourself inside what appears to at one point been a very grand master bedroom. Can I get new stealth rolls from the roof team, please?
Absolutely. Oh, now things are back to normal. I got a 9.
Okay.
You got the same.
Oh, no. Nixie, give me a
Hey.
critical 20, please.
It'll confuse him. That means there's distractions from both sides of the match.
Reese, Gabe. Okay, and Nixie with her stealth gets a dirty 20. So that's 20,
That's my girl.
29, 20,
An unnatural
20 plus
20.
18 is 8 divided by 3. Yeah, that as you all come through this wall, through the balcony door, you see just a little bit of stirring from somebody off in the shadows on the far wall. As we cross down to the ground team.
Okay. So, everything looks still in the doorway? Where?
Everything looks very still. You saw Gabe, just an actual blurring shadow of wind whispering straight through. A few seconds later, Charise and Nixie make it through and disappear into the building.
I guess we send one of us in first, and then we follow and, I guess, stealth inside and see if we can get through that door. If there's anyone hanging
Okay.
out there.
Let's get some new stealth rolls from the ground team.
Send Muscles in. He knows what he's doing.
Hide behind the muscle.
I'll go ahead and do a stealth check.
I rolled a 5.
Ooh, don't worry.
Tenzo rolls a 21.
Nice.
Okay. Unfortunately, the snow is a little bit slick, and both Ornipus and Felia sort of slip and slide a little bit, making just a few noises as they do. Tenzo looking over his shoulder like, what the fuck, guys?
Shit, fuck, stupid fucking hoops. Shh.
Okay, good. Very good. Okay. As you come up to the door, there's a particularly loud crunch as Ornipus slips and slides, drops to one knee. It seems like looking a little bit painful as he stands up and stretches his leg out. Seconds pass. Hear a little bit of stirring coming from upstairs, but otherwise silence.
Okay. How much movement?
It will say you've all used your movement to get up to this door. You were at about 60 feet, so you would have had to have dashed to get up here.
Okay, so I guess just get inside and behind a corner with whatever
Yep.
movement and dash.
Okay, so Tenzo continues the movement of the door, keeping it open all the way as you step in and take a moment for your eyes to adjust to the darkness. Cloaky is no more. Tenzo picks up his cloak. You can see he sort of
Sorry.
swishes it around his neck as it settles down on him, and there's just a few bits of light streaming in from behind him through the holes.
I will prestidigitate the holes so that I can see closed.
Okay.
Just say sorry every time.
That's really just an illusory effect, but for the time being, for a split second, it almost looks...
Wait, you can't fix things with press? I've been using this.
You need there's a cantrip called Mending, and you can use that, but prestidigitation is more about small illusions, sensory effects, things like that.
She tries to anyway. She thinks she's helping. She doesn't know how the spell works.
Yeah, of course. Okay, we'll return to the roof team. There's a little bit of stirring coming from the other side as you see somebody sit up, bleary-eyed, just rubbing their eyes as they look over and immediately throw themselves down to the side, arms out like they're reaching for something. Initiative order, Nixie is first. Nixie immediately, as soon as she's got in, she's got a longbow. As soon as she sees the movement, she draws, fires. Unfortunately, the arrow, as this target is still prone, the arrow goes wide and straight into this wall here. She is going to move to cover. There's a very small doorway. She pulls up next to it, where you can see there's a few panels missing, and so she has about half cover. Next in initiative is this bandit. This Zent agent gets up, grabs her crossbow, and this strange knife. It's like a short sword, but it's curved forwards. It's not something you've seen very much. Gabe, being a little bit, it is a kukri. Being a little bit more of a weapons nut, you recognize this as one of the more exotic blades from further out to the east. Not quite all the way out to Karatur, but somewhere in the unapproachable east.
Karatur is it's like the simulation of Asia, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Karatur is
right?
roughly Asia.
Gotcha.
Yeah. With that wisdom roll, she is in a half groggy state of panic, and immediately begins running forwards. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. As she takes her crossbow and she's pulling it back, arming it as she does, she's going to take a shot at Nixie. That's going to be a What is that going to be? That's going to be a 13 to hit. Nixie's armor class is 16. So that
girl.
you guys are watching as Nixie takes cover with her bow and a crossbow bolt boom, straight into the floor at her knee. That brings us to Charise. And then, Gabe, you'll be next. We're going to jump through the initiative order a little bit based on which teams are which.
All right. Cool.
Okay.
Charise, you're up.
All right. I think from here, I'm not going to advance, but can I use Sacred Flame from where I'm at? Do I have a line of sight for that?
You don't need to, actually, for Sacred Flame.
I will say you have line of sight. If we can just tilt the camera around to get a look straight from Charise to this Zent agent, you'll see she has quarter cover from there, but Sacred Flame, I believe, is a reflex, is a save roll, not an attack roll.
Yeah, also cover doesn't matter. If you know where someone's at, if you know where someone's at with Sacred Flame, it hits them no matter what.
Yep, okay, so what's the save roll on that?
The deck save.
It's a deck save.
Yeah, it's a deck save 14.
Okay. That's going to be a 5. So go ahead and roll your damage.
Nice.
7. Okay. So with Sacred Flame, you see a golden energy start to swirl in the air just above this Zent agent as she's reaching down to pull the crossbow, focusing on reloading for another shot at Nixie, who looks up just in time as this almost like a shower of molten coins straight down on her head. She lets out a scream as the heat and the flame, and it almost looks like molten metal. You could almost see the shapes of individual coins melting down her body as this cleric of Warkeen brings down Holy Flame. She takes 7 points of radiant damage.
Yep.
And sinks to the floor, catching her breath, blood just oozing freely from open burns. With that, there will be... So, awake. Okay. With that, you start to hear the ground team in particular hears a little bit of scuffling noises coming from around the corner as it appears someone's awoken. That, therefore, will bring us down to Gabe, and then we'll go back up to the top of the initiative order and deal with the ground team.
All right. Can I get beside her? Can I run over to where she is?
Yeah, of course. That's going to be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 movement brings you just around the corner.
All right. I'm going to also move my mark to her now and give her a swipe as well.
That's your bonus action. You come running through, down around the corner, backhand swing. What are we getting here?
I'm going to do it non-lethally.
Okay, yep.
And let's see what I get. Oof. 22 to hit?
22 is a solid hit. Square from jaw to side of the head, side of your saber, right across where the temple is. Nice and clean. Go ahead, roll your damage.
It's 8 plus...
8 damage, yep.
Plus 4. So we got a solid 9 damage.
Solid 9, okay. That, there's just a deep resounding thunk as the side of your saber crashes right in near her temple. Her eyes roll up into the back of her head as she slumps unconscious to the ground.
Are we good? Is there anyone else here? Would I notice? And my freaking screen did like a twitch.
Give me a perception check.
All right.
We'll just move her.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20? Okay. From here, looking about, there does not... actually, you can just see a little bit of movement in this room here. There does appear to be someone just starting to stir in this big room with the carpet and the table.
All right. And I go back diagonal to get behind one of the walls, the one opposed to Nixie, and I'm going to do a hand sign and point everybody over to that direction.
Okay, so you come around to this other wall here, just on the other side of the door frame from Nixie, and you see, indicating that there's an enemy in the next room.
Gotcha.
Okay, so we're going to go back to the ground team here, and top of their initiative order will be... Okay, you hear a voice coming from around the corner here. What the bloody hell is going on out there? As you hear footsteps, 5, 10, 15, 20, and you can just see a short figure wielding a crossbow and a kukri of her own, looking around. She's going to roll perception. Does not appear to see you at this stage. That's going to end her turn. That brings us, we'll deal with that in a moment. Felia, you're up.
Is she behind the wall that we're...
From where you're standing, you can just see a hint of movement past Tenzo and past this doorway here.
Okay, I think... Yeah. I guess I just peek my head around the corner, what do I see?
Okay, so if you just sort of lean slightly, or are you moving up to where Tenzo is and looking around the corner?
I can't tell, I don't know where I'm looking at, or what I'm...
Okay, can we get a zoom in on the 3 members of the ground team plus this token in the room to their right?
I think we're looking at the top currently. Maybe?
So if you zoom out and move to the left side of the map, and you'll see Felia. If you zoom right in, you'll see Felia, Ornipus, Tenzo, and the gnome known as Hamstrung.
The one in the room to the left is what we were hearing?
Yes, you were hearing...
room to the right, sorry.
The room to the right, yes. So the room at the bottom of the...
Okay, Felia's gonna try and stealth through until she can get a line of sight on whoever that is.
Okay, give me a stealth roll.
15?
Okay, where are you moving to?
I can't really tell what is and isn't a wall. It's kind of a maze, but I just want to get a line of sight on that person.
Okay, can we just tilt the camera down a little bit so that we can see which walls are where?
Oh, is there a doorway between those two rooms?
Yes, so there's a doorway next to where Tenzo is, and there's a doorway on the opposite side of the front door to you.
I think the easiest way to describe that is how many feet do I need to move until I can shoot at this person?
Okay, if you move 5 feet forwards, you'll be able to shoot straight past Ornipus and Tenzo at this person.
Excellent. And they're the only one in the room that I can see?
They are this is the only person that you can see, the only movement you've seen thus far.
Alright, I'm gonna send a ray of frost at them. Is a... Oh, yeah, it's a natural one. Natural one.
Okay.
Nice. Glad I took the time to line that up.
So a little bit of panic at this quiet tactical operation going loud for the first time. That unfortunately shoots a little too far to the right. Tenzo feels a brush of cold air hit his right shoulder as your ray slams into the wall to the right of the doorway.
Shit. Sorry. Do you think she heard us?
You see Ornipus just look back and give you a grin. As Ornipus, for his part, don't worry, I've been chatting with Donovan. I know exactly what Ornipus is going to do.
Oh God.
Ornipus just leans over with a quiet snort and barrels straight past Tenzo. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 feet. And for his 30 feet, crashes straight into this short figure. He's going to make an athletics check against an acrobatics check to see if he can grapple this figure.
Orny just really likes hugs.
Orny loves his hugs. So, Ornipus. Just loading Ornipus's character sheet. Sorry, I'm not used to it. Been a while since I've played NPCs and PCs. That's going to be a 17 from Ornipus. And, oh, this could be a close one. It's going to be an 18 from the figure. You see Ornipus manages to get his arms around this short, small figure who just ducks out of the way right at the last second. That brings us to Tenzo. Okay, Tenzo for his part is going to, let's see what spells Tenzo has available. He's seeing his buddy move in. What are we thinking here? I think Tenzo is just going to go ahead and cast a magic missile at first level at this figure. So I'm going to roll damage on that. That's going to be 5 plus 5 plus 2. 12 points of damage. Tenzo swings his brush around and flicks it as 3 blobs of ink glowing a light purple come flying out of it, forming into these dart-like shapes. 1, 2, 3, straight in. So as this figure wriggles down out of Ornipus's grip, doof, 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 straight into the side, takes the wind out of it. That's going to be 12 points of damage. You can see them get back up onto their feet, glaring up at Ornipus, looking out to the side. We need some reinforcements! That's going to take us back upstairs. If we can go back to the... We're just going to go into... actually, no, we'll keep it separated for the moment. Okay, so Nixie, seeing the movement, steps out of the door and takes a shot at this figure getting up. Also misses again, unfortunately. No, I'm going to use Nixie's roll on D&D Beyond. Sorry, I'm playing 3 separate PCs here at the moment.
Oh,
Yeah, I know that feel.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Okay, with her longbow, Nixie makes a roll. That's a dirty 20. That hits.
Nice.
An unnatural 20.
10 points of damage.
Wow.
Her arrow streaks straight through the building. You guys just see it rocks it straight out of sight. This... You hear a thump and a bit of a sound. Charise, that brings us to you. Nixie, for her part, you can see, is reaching back to knock another arrow. This bandit is actually, this Zend agent is right here and unconscious thanks to Gabe, who has made it to here.
So it's just this guy down here with the crossbows?
That you know of, yes. It's,
Okay.
You can't really see much of him at this point. You can just see that Nixie appears to have engaged with someone at a distance, and Gabe is sort of preparing himself to charge forwards again.
All right, I'm going to move up to. I'm going to go through that gap in the wall that they took.
5, 10,
Move up
15,
next to Nixie,
Yep.
and I'm going to tap. I'm going to reach out and tap the arrow that she's pulling, like that she's knocking, and I'm going to cast light on it.
Okay. Gabe, as you look over your shoulder, Charise comes barreling out, drops to her side, slides underneath where Nixie's just knocking her next arrow from one knee. As Charise slides underneath, she just reaches up, taps the arrow, as the head of the arrow starts to glow, emitting a soft light. That movement brings you over to here, where you can see a pallet has been placed underneath a hole in the floor, stopping people falling down to the ground floor. That brings us to this fellow down here. As he gets up, bends over, picks up a couple of items up off the ground in the shadows, spins around, and you can see 2 hand crossbows. He's going to go ahead and level both of them following the movement. His eyes are immediately caught to the light, and in the light he can see you, Charise, moving quickly. Your movement catches his attention as he trains both hands crossbows on you. He's going to go ahead and make 2 attacks at range. Okay, that's nice. If I'm going to be rolling shit for the PCs, it's nice to be rolling shit for the NPCs as well. That's going to be a
Quickly balanced, like all
10
things should be.
And a nat 1.
Nice.
So a 10 does not hit you.
No.
You watch as a couple of bolts go flying through the air straight above you and boom, blink themselves, bury themselves into the wall behind you.
Having the lights suddenly turned on is very disorienting in a dark room.
Yeah, you can see him going as he throws both hand crossbows down to his belt, pulls them back up with a couple of bolts in them, and then locks them against each other, and for his bonus action pulls them both back and levels 2 more fully loaded hand crossbows at you.
Oh,
That ends his turn. Yeah, I've customized some bandits for ones who favor the blade and ones who favor the ranged attacks. This is the bandit bolt slinger.
Oh.
Gabe, that brings us to you.
I'm still gonna cut him in half though, but I'm gonna this time I'm going to hold my sword to my side, and you guys are gonna see this weird sort of like a small green tornado start to wrap my blade as I cast Zephyr Strike on my sword.
Zephyr Strike, okay.
And then I'm going to run over to him and try to just cleave straight down the middle of him.
Okay, Zephyr Strike, is that an attack roll? Melee
It's
attack
a bonus action. It gives me an extra D10 on damage, and
okay.
afterwards I get 30 extra feet of movement.
Okay, so that's bonus action to cast, and then you use your action to make the melee strike?
So I didn't put my mark on him, so he's not hunter's marked right now, so I don't get that little extra bit of damage.
Nope, that's fine. So Gabe just takes his blade as you see this energy start to writhe around it, and he charges 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 feet. Go ahead and make your attack roll.
14 to hit.
14 will hit.
Let's
roll
go.
your damage.
That'll be 7 damage with regular, and that'll be 7 slashing damage, and
Does Zephyr Strike give you advantage?
no, it doesn't give me advantage. That'll be 7 slashing damage and 6 force damage.
Yeah. Once before
7.
the spell ends, you can give yourself advantage on one weapon roll on your turn, and that attack deals an extra 1d8 force.
Oh, I guess this will be the advantage one. I'll reroll, see if I can get a 20.
Let's do it. It could happen.
And
Oh, I got a 1 the second time. Never mind. I'll take that 14.
Better to get those ones out of the way with your advantage rolls. Okay, so that is 13 points of damage in total. 6 slashing. So the blade cuts straight through him. You can see him as he very weakly brings his crossbows up, looking for that point blank twin shot as this force tornado flies off your blade, picks him up, throws him clean up off his feet, slams him dead into the ground.
Sick.
Nice.
That was
You
my
see
roll
he just
too?
starts to
Nice.
open up slightly and fall into 2 halves on the ground as you just straight up with that hit. Standing here now, you can see it appears, looking around, it appears all the upstairs threats have been neutralized. For the record, we're still been chatting with the guys at Harpy Arena. The stairs are something that's coming. This table here represents a staircase, and if we can go back to the ground floor, you'll see a similar table in the same spot that is the same staircase. We are going to go back downstairs and take initiative from there. So if we can swing back over to the downstairs part of the map, that brings us to the dark figure in the room. This figure ducks down and spins around with this nimble sort of way, as you can see that Ornipus just swings down with a couple of punches, and she just nimbly dances away from them as she very cunningly disengages from Ornipus and swings back around this corner. As you can, Ornipus sees, she ducks down around the corner and just seems to be holding for the moment. That's going to be her turn, which brings us to you, Felia.
Felia overexcitedly runs into the room behind Ornipus,
5.
using him as a piece of cover.
Yep, so 30 feet gets you directly behind Ornipus.
Uh-huh.
We'll say that gives you half cover, because he's a big boy.
He's a big
Yeah,
boy.
Chonk.
Who's daddy's big boy?
He's a chonky boy.
Ew.
If I poke my head around the side of him, can I see her where she's trying to hide?
Okay, well, so here's the thing. As you run past, as you get to about here, you can see that she appears to have been holding for something.
Oh shit.
And as her held action goes off as you move out, she is going to take a crossbow. She's going to fire her hand crossbow at you.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be a 7 to hit. So
Yep, nah.
Yep, nope, that goes wide as you
Felia clears
to a
it in
halt.
a single jump, like 5 feet in the air. She just leaps over it like a bloody goat.
She wasn't expecting
Nice.
that. She's firing for where a normal person would be, as you just go leaping from your little goat feet and land right behind Ornipus.
And then I
What are
poke
you
my
doing?
head back out and cast Chaos Bolt at her.
Ooh.
Okay, go ahead and roll your attack.
Chaos.
Okay, so it
Nice.
hits. Is that close? No, 21.
Nice.
21, that's going to hit. Let's go ahead and roll your damage.
So what I do is I roll 2d8 and then I
Mhm.
use the oh, they're both 3. What does that mean?
That's something special.
Well, you get doubles, right? You get another dice, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I'm just gonna read the thing because if you roll the same number on both d8s, it leaps from the target to a different creature of your choice within 30 feet of it. Make a new attack roll against a new target and make a new damage roll, which could the creature can be only targeted. So does that mean I get to roll it affects
Okay,
her,
so
and then I roll.
does it say a creature you can see or another creature of your choice within 30 feet?
A creature of choice within 30 feet of it. But my question is, does she take the damage and then it leaps?
She
Yeah.
takes the damage and then
Okay.
it leaps. So,
let's do this first. So it would be fire damage, and I rolled. What did I roll? 6
Roll
fire
2d6.
damage.
okay. So Felia reaches out with a hand and just sort of waves her hand in a circle, and you can see like the fabric of reality itself starts swirling into her hands, a jumbled ball of color of blacks, purples, whites, reds, blues, as she launches it to the doorway.
It's actually 12 fire damage because the d6 added to it.
You are right. As this bolt, as this sphere shoots into a bolt shape towards the gnome you remember as Hamstrung, it elongates into this bolt, and all of the bright orange starts to overwhelm every other color until this bolt of fire just hits her square in the hip. Fire erupts straight up the side of her body, her leg. She starts screaming in pain. That's 12 points of fire damage.
And is there a creature within 30 feet of her?
You gotta love magic, man.
As you see Hamstrung, this now blackened corpse-like looking shape in the doorway, little tufts of hair still sticking out as she starts leveling that crossbow, you watch as the energy, the flames from her body, straight into another ball and shoots out behind the door frame and hits streaks towards another creature.
I got
Go ahead and roll
again.
another attack roll.
That is
Yeah.
so fucking cool.
Chaos Ball. Oh yeah, that's a 25 to hit.
Let's
That's going to
go.
hit. Roll your damage.
Wait, if you keep rolling doubles of the dice, will it just keep going, arcing through the room, killing everything?
It just bounces around the room.
6 or 2. Okay, I'm gonna go 6 and hit it with poison damage, and I'm just gonna add d6.
You just see this orange turning into purple as it streaks off the side, and here
That's 14.
you just hear this surprise sort of and it sort of fades back, not quite silence, as Hamstrung remains screaming in confused agony. So that's going to be
That was 14 poison damage on the second one.
Well, probably sleeping person.
Felia's like, I didn't even know it could do that. It hit 2 people.
okay. So from Felia, that brings us now down to Ornipus. Okay. Does Ornipus have any ranged, or is he going to run in and just punch shit? I mean, I feel like he's going to run in and punch shit, yeah.
Like
Or the Orny.
Orny is definitely a run in and punch shit guy. So, Ornipus, seeing that damage take hold, again, gives this. You can almost hear this huge grin in his grunt as he charges forwards, drops a shoulder, and starts trying to barrel straight through that wall. He's going to go ahead and make an athletics roll.
Fuck it, through the wall.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be a 21 as Ornipus crashes. As you can see, the wall is barely standing. The figure behind it has maybe a quarter cover at most. Ornipus doesn't give a shit about that cover as he just barrels straight through it, straight over the top of this creature, bearing it down to the ground. Hamstrung just gives a slight and is just paced on the ground. You just see a few blackened limbs sticking up.
Oh my god!
As Ornipus turns around, and Felia, you see Ornipus turn around and go, huh. And that ends his turn.
Guys, we're badass. Is
Pretty
Tenzo
cool.
still to go down there as well?
Let me just check. Oh, yeah, okay, so that's 8 points of damage. And the crime figure formerly known as Hamstrung is a still, unmoving, blackened husk of a gnome.
Now more like ham smear.
Oh,
More
no.
like ham done.
That brings us to Ornipus. Ornipus. It brings us to Tenzo. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. He just gets to the corner. And Felia, you see him look down at Hamstrung, like, ugh, as he looks over. And you see his eyes widen, and his hand comes out as he casts... I've got to keep jumping between characters, you guys. He's gonna make a cantrip here. So he's gonna go ahead and make a chill touch. And you see him quickly, his brush spins around as he sketches this ghostly hand. And as he throws it up in the air, Ornipus sees a similar ghostly hand come up out of the floor and grab at a figure that, Felia, you can't see. You just see Tenzo sketching this ghostly hand. That's going to be a 25. That hits.
Nice. Yes, kill them all, crush them, murder them.
That's going to be...
Yes.
That's going to be 7 points of necrotic damage.
That's gotta do it.
All of them dead, instantly gone.
Did anyone take damage?
This appears to have been, so far, a roughly successful kind of
murder.
Storm? Is this what we call it? A building storm? A raid? It's been a very successful raid. This takes us back to the top.
Building storm.
We just like LAPD kicked in the doors. Just fucked him up.
I prefer the phrase Blitzkrieg.
If we can go back to the rooftop team, first off the bat will be Nixie. Nixie is just going to move 5, 10, 15, 20 to the stairs. And we're just going to zoom out. Nixie, 25. And 30 feet of movement. We'll say that Nixie drops off the side of the stairs, and 30 feet of movement puts her right into the room. Felia, you just hear some really light footsteps go running across as Nixie comes running down the stairs, drops off, and appears in between you and Tenzo. That brings us to Charise.
Okay. Is that the dual wielding dude? He's down, right? Like he's done?
He's in two pieces on the floor with just the remnants of a little magical cyclone of force from Gabe's sword just wisping away from his body like the wind.
Is there a window in that room?
There's a couple of windows on the wall near where Gabe is. Yes, on the other side of the stairwell.
Okay, I'm gonna go out one of the windows and go down the side of the building to one of the windows on the bottom floor.
So we'll say 30 feet of movement will get you just on the other side of the window. So that would put you outside and just above a window here. Give me a perception check, please.
Where is it? There it is.
7. Okay, so you can see a tall figure just sort of extricating herself from a pile of rags and clothing where she appeared to have been curled up. From the way she's getting up onto her knees, it looks like she'd been sitting or kneeling. And she currently has this sickly purple energy swirl with a hint of green swirling around her as you see her like cough up a little bit of bile.
Where is this person?
If we zoom in on the group on the bottom floor near where Charise is, you can see you know what? Now's as good a time as any to bring her in. right here, you see what appears to have been the tall elven woman or half-elven woman of very curious-looking heritage. There's a slight ebony sheen to her skin, but she has like a platinum blonde hair that you would associate with the Chondathans out to the east, south of the Moonsea. The sort of the more Italian, south, central European.
Okay. All right. Do I have,
You have
an action?
And a bonus action.
Okay. All right. Well, then I guess what I will do is, yeah, I'll just drop one of those sacred flames again.
Okay.
So, dexterity 14.
Wow, we're really not rolling well today.
Yes.
14 was it?
Yeah.
Or 13? Oh, she just fails. You see her start to roll out of the way as the flame washes straight down, misses the head, but grabs that shoulder. And now Tenzo, and you can see through some of the gaps in the wall yourself, Nixie, this golden light, as it appears to be coins falling down, melting into this radiant flame over this woman's body. She screams, but it's this horrible muted sound of and a couple of perception checks from the boys down here. You see Tenzo and Ornifus both look over, and they look slightly horrified at what they're seeing. Not just the burning. Something about this woman seems to... Give me a perception check, Charise. And while you're doing that, we'll now move up to Gabe. Gabe, you're up on the top floor. If we can zoom over to Gabe for a second, and then we'll be able to keep the camera on the ground floor.
What I want to do is, so the crate in the middle of the room, like the thing in the middle of the room is kind of a crate that prevents us from going downstairs, right?
No, that's a table. That's a stand-in for the stairwell. We don't have stairs yet. We're working on them.
Okay. But I remember there was like a hole that they stepped over so they wouldn't fall straight through.
You're
the bottom
right, yes. So that's the crate to the top and to the right of the unconscious Zent agent. We've already deleted him from living. We'll delete him from the map.
I'm going to get my crossbow out, run, and try to do a front, try to like stomp on it so it breaks down, and I go downstairs with it.
Okay.
Sick.
Let's have an acrobatics check, followed by we'll say, strength check.
Okay.
It's a combination of positioning your body just right to land, like just on your heels.
So I got an 8. So, but I even do that, I have extra movement speed because of Zephyr Strike, and I don't. I got an 8 for the first one for the dexterity.
Yeah, you managed the flip relatively well. You don't quite stick the landing. You sort of sting your ankles a little bit as you just kind of a little bit too much momentum. You hear a slight splinter. That's going to be your movement. You can use your extra Zephyr Strike movement if you like, and you still have an action which you could use as a dash action.
All right,
I'm all for making those sort of things work, but if the dice say no,
no, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, man.
I'm just the DM, man. The dice are God here.
All right, I'm gonna use the rest of my extra Zephyr Strike movement. So how much did that movement that cost me to do that whole action? Would that be all my base
5,
movement?
10, 15, 20, 25, and we'll say an extra 5 feet of movement for the up and down.
Yeah, okay.
So that's your 30 feet of movement.
My base 30. Let me check and see exactly how much speed Zephyr Strikes gives me before we continue. Zephyr Strike gives me an extra 30. So now I have 30 more. I'm just going to use my 30 more to go down the steps.
So we'll say 5, 10, 15, 20. 20 feet puts you here. 25 puts you here next to Nixie.
All right. Will I be able to get a clean shot on the creature?
This figure, we can zoom right in on all the tokens now. This figure is, would say, you'd be looking through a half wall around a corner. This figure would have 3/4 cover from you right now.
3/4. It's worth popping a shot anyway. I'm gonna give a crossbow shot at it.
Okay. Whipping out the crossbow as you're running, you know something's going on down there, and you can just see a figure with flames licking over her. Kind of like what you saw just upstairs, like 12 seconds ago.
Okay.
19.
That's a 19?
Okay, 19?
It just misses. It misses.
Just misses with 3/4 cover. So you've almost accounted for the wall, and just as you're firing, you realize your wrist is twitched ever so slightly, and it hits the corner of the wall and splinters off.
All right, that's my turn.
Okay.
All I got.
So that brings us back to the top of the round. We're going to give this figure a there go first. Out of, let's see. Okay, on a 19, this figure wakes up, it comes alert very quickly. Yep. Sees everybody come flooding in, sees the cell leader, Hamstrung, dead, laid out crisp on the floor, kind of smeared a little bit under Ornipus's footsteps, and you can see through a slightly burned, scarred face, and throws the sword down. Now, as everybody will leave the initiative order now, Charise comes bursting through the window. Give me a quick perception check, Charise, as you do that. And one from Gabe and one from Felia.
Okay. There we go.
6.
An unnatural 20.
Charise, you catch the movement of the sword going down as you prepare to crash through the window. You come crashing through that window, landing down on your feet in front of the figure as you come standing up, now eye to eye with this very exotic looking half-elf. Felia, you don't quite realize this, being as far back as you are. So you get one more turn.
Let's go.
Killer, Felia. Fucking killer. Slaughterer.
Felia comes running through the doorway, past Tenzo, half bumping into him, and as soon as she can see, she'll cast. She'll cast. Sorry, I'm just checking the area. Can I cast Thunderclap only on her, or is that gonna fuck with Charise? It's 5 feet.
That's going to fuck with Charise or Gabe, depending on sort of what angle you want to put it at.
I'll just Ray of Frost her. She just
okay, give us an attack roll.
That is a 19 to hit.
19 without any cover hits. Go ahead, roll some damage.
Just 3 damage.
3 damage, okay.
Oh, actually, I think I get a +1 for my wand thing.
You do get a +1 for your wand, so that's an... What is that, Charise? What is that, Ren? 19 plus 1? What's a 19 plus 1 on attack?
No. It's a damage.
Unnatural 20.
It's a damage +1, so
Oh, it's only damage. I'm so sorry. That's 4 points of frost damage.
Yep.
And this figure, you just hit her right in the sword shoulder. You see the sword in her hand. You don't realize that she's throwing it away. And just as the fingers let go and the sword comes flying away, you're like, oh shit! But the spell's already out. Comes streaking towards the shoulder, and the shoulder just sort of locks up slightly as you can see this slight chunk of frost rhyming the shoulder joint. As she stops.
Yeah, what next?
As she just puts her hands up and looks warily around the room.
That's what
Yeah.
I thought.
Will Ornipus just sort of grabs this corpse by one tiny gnome foot and flings it over to the side as everybody else comes piling into the room.
I'm going to quickly in Elvish. Can I see she's also an Elvish a person like me?
Yeah. Look, give me a perception check or even a nature check if you want.
Well, I don't know shit about the natural world, so I'm gonna go perception.
I'm an urban
20.
ranger, Deb. 25. Yeah, so you've been around. You're from another sort of metropolitan place yourself, being from Baldur's Gate. This woman definitely looks. Her facial features look Chondescend, like they have very sort of blonde, light brown to blonde hair, dark, deep tan, chestnut skin, but she has the slightly pointed tipped ears of a half elf, and there's this slight ebony sheen to her chestnut tan skin that looks drow in nature. This half elf appears to be half drow, half Chondescend human.
I'm gonna say in Elvish, you better start talking quick.
17. This is good. This woman looks up at you and you hear this sort of sardonic laugh, and she opens her mouth to you and goes to stick her tongue out, and you can, just looking in through the darkness, you can see this woman has no tongue. She can't talk. And that's where we're going to leave it for today.
Oh no! Oh,
I mean, thank God we have a certain bard wizard who has message as a cantrip, but this is gonna be annoying.
oh yes! Ah, Tenzo in the clutch.
Tenzo clutching without even being here.
Let's go. Sporadic dabs.
So let's take it back to that. Viewing screen with the logo. Welcome back, everybody. We did unfortunately lose our bard for a little while, but he'll be back next week. Joining us next week will also be our
rest of the cast.
sharp shooting, neck pinning rogue archer Nixie, and we should also have Ornipus. So we are looking at a full house next week. They'll have to rewatch this episode to see just how smooth and tactical they were. And we got to watch one of the first proper building raids done SWAT tactical style in 5th edition D&D. I am so excited to have gotten this session out of the way.
Ooh,
believe
it's so
we didn't
good.
fuck it up.
So good. This is so cool.
We're just, yeah. We're
Did anyone get hurt? Did we manage to
No
not
one
be
took
harmed at
damage.
all?
No one took damage.
That's
No one
so
took damage.
fucking Cool.
That was as smooth a raid as you could possibly have asked for.
I
Yeah.
feel so badass. I slid in through I jumped from window to window. I cut somebody in half. I didn't land my front flip that I wanted to.
You fought with a piece of wood on the floor. It was amazing.
Lost.
Zanithar are no match for the Whispering Wind.
I am
It's
wind.
the wooden
I am-
pallets that fuck with him.
Oh, I can't. You can't be wind through wood.
All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us. We will be back again in a week's time on our new hashtag Watchman Wednesdays, which is, Thursday if you're here in Australia or one of our neighbors. It's really good to be back.
It is. I've missed this so much.
Shout out to our new stream producer and cinematographer, as he's controlling the camera on Harpy Arena, not me. Everyone, a huge shout out and a thank you to Beef Taquitos. Tack, thank you so much for bringing us back
Thank you so much, Taquitos. You
Thanks.
are literally the GOAT.
Mexican
with
food,
our
rescue.
crisp, smooth graphics. He's found a way to reduce a lot of the pre-stream delays. We couldn't have asked for someone better to step in and fill some pretty big shoes, and he's done it and then some. So thank you, Tack. Thank you, everyone, for joining us again. We are back. 2022 is going to be a big year for us. We have many adventures and many schemes in store. So we will see you all in a week's time. We will see you all during the week on Twitter. And as always, never forget, all Watchmen are bastards.